I'm here with Johan.
Hi.
I'm Boogie. And we have Benjamin as well.
Hello, everyone.
And I think you guys had some questions for us that you've been filling out in a thread, which we will be answering today, or read by Benjamin.
Shall we get started?
Let's do that.
All right, so this is a pretty topical question number one. How has COVID-19 changed the way the EU4 development team operates? What have you done as a team to adapt to the situation? And what have been some lessons that we've learned through the transit?
Ooh. We learned that, I'd say that I've learned that we don't need to be sitting at the same office every single day for 8 hours from start to finish. That's one learning. But the other thing is that I think of myself as an introverted programmer, but I realized I need human interaction far more than I actually think.
Yeah, it might sound silly, but like we organized, so we had like a virtual fika every evening. Not evening, afternoon, with the entire team, where we just sat, drank coffee, talked about random stuff. It was actually quite important to keeping the team together.
Yeah, it was really good. It was nice.
And I mean, there's been a lot of learnings of just taking care of yourself when you're sitting in front of a computer. 8 hours work and then 8 hours game, and stuff like that. But I mean, our IT department had everything set up for us, and I got my share shipped home to me. So for me, I didn't have to do that much, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we learned a few things, but yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, we managed quite well, actually. And I like first couple of weeks I was more productive because I wouldn't get bothered by anyone, because I could just sit and just work on things, which was great. Yeah, but I do miss the coming back to an office and talking with people and having that separation between private life.
Yeah, and I also miss one thing. I miss Tuesdays.
I miss Tuesdays. Yeah, next question maybe.
Okay. What mechanic for the Austria update and for Emperor was the hardest to balance, and what can the community do as a whole to help with that?
All right, so hardest to balance, at least for me, was the state, because I was trying to get them to work with everything. I think I redid them 3 times or something.
Yeah, I would say the estates was by far the hardest to balance.
Yeah.
Some of the rest were kind of easy, because it's just getting. Let's take the Council of Trent. It's there was not so many moving parts, because it's either prices are up or too expensive or too hard, or too expensive or cheap. But with the estates, there are so many moving parts. If this one is true or that one is true, or if you have this one or that one, or is this too good and it's dropping, and you have the. Yeah, I think, how many times did we redesign the estates things, with loyalty and so on?
Yeah, like I said, the entire thing probably 3 times, but it's been iterative. So it's loyalty is not like we wanted, then we redo that, and then this is not like we wanted, then we redo that. So it's been a lot of work into estates.
But what the community can do, well, give us feedback on playtest, and we'll keep tweaking the numbers in future updates.
Yeah, and also be descriptive, right? If you say something like, "Have you fixed the bug?" I don't know what the bug is. So if you tell me, "Oh, have you fixed where estates you can do this and this?" and then, "Oh, okay, no, I haven't fixed that yet, but I'm gonna get to it," right? I will understand what you mean better.
The more clear you are, the more detailed you are in showing and doing a good presentation of exactly what you want, the more likely it's that someone will understand it. Next question, please.
On that last topic, though, I might add reporting it on the bug report thread on the forums so that it's seen by the right people is also important.
Yes.
Like just tweeting it at somebody is probably not going to get remembered in the long run.
Oh yeah. If it's like, because if you put it in the bug report forum, our QA will go through it and put it into the database, make sure everything is right. So when a programmer gets to it, he can just like get cracking and working on the problem. If you tweet at fix the bug, I'm like, all right, sure, I'll try and remember that, and then the next day I've forgotten them, basically.
Okay, moving on then. Here's another one. Can you outline to us what your approach to playtesting for 1.30 has been?
Oh yeah. We have a group of internal QA that spends all day testing the game. That's, I don't know how many people there are. They test and give feedback and make sure that features are working as they're doing. We also have a testing studio in Poland called Kulok that tests stuff for us, working full time with a significant team testing that one. We also have a beta test group of, I don't know how many are active at the moment, but usually we try to recruit, it's between 50 to 100 people there, and they play test whatever free time they have and post bugs and same things and communicate on Slack with us and so on, and they're spread all over the world. And finally, we have the central QA at Paradox, which checks every milestone and every things and gives feedback on that. So it's a huge amount of testing. And of course, we have people everywhere, because there's weird thing. It's like we've been doing European Universalis for 20-something years. And a lot of the people that have been hired at Paradox used to be fans of the series. So we get a lot of employees that are playtesting and giving feedback to us as well. So that's the broad outline of how we have been using the playtesting on 130. Next question, please.
How is the subscription experiment going for Europa Universalis 4?
Oh, that's something that the publishing people have been running, and I don't know much about it. And I think we can't answer.
All right, we'll just move on then. Let's see. If there was a feature you could add to EU4 without being restrained at all by the difficulty of implementation, what would it be?
You want to start, Krug?
Yeah, I can start. Because I know I've talked with you about it, and it's like more like a more fun trading node like system. Like the trading system is one of our most like bug ridden and like performance intensive parts of the game, and like if I would want to, I would like try and make that more fun to play around with, like more parts in it that you can play around with and so on. But like that is also like a pipe dream of what it would take a lot of work, and I would probably end up with something really, really broken at the end.
Yeah, it's probably not worth it for an expansion. Me personally, I would take a feature from Imperator. I really like the food and supply system and put it in, but I don't dare doing it in an EU4 expansion because the amount of impact on the AI is insane. I remember when we added it in for in Imperator, and the AI programmer Shane Gunn was like, "What the fuck did you?" Or he didn't use these words because it's not that. But he was like, "What did you do? You're breaking the AI." So I would not. I would really love to add it, but it's too costly. Next question, please.
I'm sorry about that. Push to talk. I forgot about it.
Yeah.
I think you kind of covered this, so I think we'll skip over it because the next question was: are you happy with the trade system?
Yes.
Well, but I am not. But it's like it's more like how it is right now. It's good enough. But I think, like I said, if I have a perfect world where I have infinite time, you can make any system better. But like how it is right now, it's very fun to play with and good enough.
And we can keep moving on because we already talked about trade a little bit. What are the aspects of 1.30 you're most concerned about?
Oh, do you want to start, Rugel, or can I?
You.
I think I'm concerned with. I liked it, and it's very, very a lot of meat and a lot of work, and a lot of new things to do. But I'm still worried about the Catholicism because it doesn't give enough discipline and morale bonuses like some other religions. So some people think it's shit, but that's my concern. We have this like deep mechanics for a religion, but some people will not like it because it doesn't give good military bonuses. And which ones I'm most happy with? God, I like the changes to the mercenary system. That's the one I like. Grug?
Yeah, so what I'm most concerned with, I sort of want to say everything. Like I wanted to hear what Johan had to say because he came in with a fresh eyes while I had been sitting and grinding on this for a while. So, but like for me, it's like I'm concerned with everything because like this is my baby, and I want everything to get as much attention as possible, but it's hard to pick a baby, like pick one of the babies of my many babies, but I would probably be estates that I'm most happy with. Oh yeah, investigate heresy button, which came up during the multiplayer game this weekend. I've already fixed it. Don't worry. Yeah, so then I'm not concerned about it.
We really pushed that to the limit.
Yeah.
All right, so is Emperor the last DLC for EU4 like Holy Fury was for CK2?
No. We're going to make more big expansions.
That was a simple one. All right, moving on. Did you give up on any features that were planned for Emperor that just couldn't be fit?
Yes.
Yeah, I actually can't remember. I know there were some that was cut, but I don't remember exactly.
I was trying to like go down and see exactly which ones we had cut. I mean, we had this like we have the Revolutionary Guards as they're in now, but we used to have we reworked the hegemony design. You were supposed to like be able to like completely customize how your Revolutionary Guards and some troops were. It was like flagships. That was cut because it was like insanely complicated for no. And also one feature I had designed a long time ago was like foreign influence over estates.
Right, yes. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, because Stardan hated it because it would be too much micromanagement, but so that's why it was cut.
It was also I couldn't like Jake tasked me with like figuring out like how like me if someone does it towards me, what do I do, right? Like, and couldn't figure out like a good way to play with that, right? Yeah, next question.
Already. Is there a particular feature that you consider a #1 candidate to be reworked going into the future?
Oh, yes. There's a lot of them.
I mean, I have an idea, but I don't know if I can say that one.
No, it's like I think if we're looking if a feature has not been reworked in a long time, it's something old. It's like take the first expansion we have, for example. Which one was that?
Conquest of Paradise.
Conquest of Paradise. Did we? I would probably rework something from that expansion or from that patch, because that's the type of thing you should be doing. But I don't really remember what the fuck Serbat language we had in Conquest of Paradise. We had the random new world, but we already reworked that out. Anyway, it's kind of like those things we should be focusing on when we rework.
Alrighty, next question. Do you play EU4 in your spare time when you're not working on it for work? And if so, do you use mods?
Oh, I don't think I've played EU4 in my spare time for many years. mostly because when I have spare time and I'm not working, I don't play all that super much games. And when I'm playing games, can I admit it? I play World of Warcraft, so that takes a lot of time.
I mean, so I know probably some people in chat have more hours than me, but I have just a meager 6,000 hours. So I would say I occasionally play it on my free time.
I only have 1,300 in the release. I'm trying to check the beta, but I have 7,000 hours in the beta.
Oh wow. But yeah, so and when it comes to mods, I play with only the best high cultured mods, Wife Universalis, and the oh god no war declaration sound.
I don't play with mods in EU4, but when I play like Stellaris, I scourge for every single, like adding new alien portrait ones, the ones that look good, and I add all of them. But not for EU4, because the thing is, like, when you're working on a game and you're like the game director, creator, director, you can basically change the game to whatever you want. So I don't really add mods in EU4. And if you're also, and it's like if you were in the charge of designing EU5, what would your vision for it? Well, nobody else is going to be allowed to do any other EU game as long as I'm alive. So it will be just better and better and better.
So this next one's probably going to be a little bit more for Groogy in this case. What region do you personally find the most entertaining to play in, and why?
Probably Europe. I mean, so like Europe and America, because I know the history. I think it's like it's not about role play. I guess fit. Like it's. I know the history. I know like how these different countries relate to each other. So I like playing there more. It's not about mechanics and so. Does that make sense?
No, I think it makes sense. Makes sense to me. All right, moving on. Do you plan on representing religious minorities, for example, Jews in Europe or Muslims in China, more in?
No, because how the game is with like development and so on doesn't fit with minorities that easily. If we had pops, maybe. Next question.
Will it be easier now to have estate-related disasters, and how easy it is for the player to counter?
I can answer that. So I think we changed how disasters gets triggered, the state disasters, because your response on something with the states now is way slower. It's not these like instant clicking every 20 years, right? So you can't do much if disaster starts ticking. So we made it a lot slower. It's something that builds over time more, and like you can get it to a state where like the progress stops, but it doesn't decay. So like you still have to be worried. It might be too slow now, so that is probably something I will look at. But
okay, are more Imperial incidents planned in the future?
I don't have any ideas.
We don't have any plans, but if we give our content designers quite a lot of free hands when they're developing, and if they have come up with ideas for Imperial incidents and want to add them, we'll add them in.
Yeah. So like all of these colonial nations that have been added now that you can form, that was like our content designer says, hey, I want to do this. I have a great idea for like these kind of things, and I was like, yeah, sure, go ahead. And probably it would be the same with Imperial incidents if it becomes like here was this huge historical thing, can we do this, right? And then probably the answer.
Alrighty, moving on. How do province-based estates like the Cossacks work in the new system?
it sort of doesn't. Dimi and Cossack have been like redone, so it works like on more of a national level. So like Cossacks, like with the units, instead of spawning them, you build them, and you can build them by giving Cossacks privileges. So you're gonna have to learn what you knew how estates work and like start to learn the new way. But yeah. There's still like privileges, like the Dimi has a privilege you can give where you give them autonomy, and that will like give like special modifiers on all non-Muslim provinces and so on.
Alrighty. Next question is about the Hussites, a popular topic. Someone would like to know how the Hussite religion spreads to other countries in Europe.
Through Bohemia can go through their mission tree, and one of the mission's reward is to give you a Reformation center. Otherwise, it spreads normally like any other religion.
All right, that was very simple.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. This question came up a bunch of times in various formulations on the forum. People are worried about the superpowered French vassal swarms being superpowered, and if the small decrease in absolutism, is balanced with the extra Diplo slots that they get.
So from what I've seen in our overnights and so on, France doesn't take off and just conquer all of. It's been pretty balanced and so on. I mean, so if people are worried about multiplayer balance, I mean, if France and Burgundy ally each other, it doesn't matter if there's vassal or not. You're gonna be. So then, like, rest of Europe has to do something about it. But for single player, there hasn't been much of an issue. France is big and strong, and like they've always been. Yeah, and that's about it.
Okay, moving on. Next question is about merchant republics and how are they going to interact with the new way that trade companies work in.
Yeah, Jon, do you change things here with the merchant republics?
Oh yeah. Let me say. Basically, the idea is that the merchant republic should not have so much like stated. States. They should have more trade companies wherever they go, because they are cheaper to get trade companies, but they are more expensive to get stated states.
Okay. That asked and answered there. Next question. Are there any other policy changes coming besides the nerf coming to infantry combat and cavalry combat ability from the innovative and espionage idea groups that has not been announced?
I only know there's the available mercenary ones. They are mercenary manpower now, but I don't know if they're. Did you change anything else, Jon?
No.
No.
Okay, so that looks like those are the only ones changing then. Alrighty, so with the huge buff to the nobility estate, has the parliament in England been buffed at all to compensate in the fact that they have no nobility estate?
Yeah, they can do a Brexit. No, sorry.
No. No, sort of like indirect buff is that they don't have nobility estate, because now like estates holding land is a burden, right? So sure, you don't get some of the benefits of nobility, but a big thing to become an absolutist is to get rid of your estates, or like get rid of the land they have. And England and Parliament has a lot easier. So like when you take Parliament in the government reforms, it immediately like gives that land to the crown, giving you all of the benefits of having a lot of crown land. So it's sort of an indirect buff, but we haven't had any intention of like giving them a direct buff.
Okay, so should we answer the joke question or just move on? The Estates General one.
Yeah, we can answer that.
So there's a government reform named Estates General that gives plus 10% production efficiency, and then France has a national idea called Estates General, which gives 10% tax efficiency. Will we fix this fact that makes the game literally unplayable?
No.
Moving on. So this next question is about age mechanics. The The commenter says, I like age mechanics, but there are not many options to choose from. Can we see new options in the age mechanics to pick? Also, there aren't very many nations in the ages that have a unique age bonus. Could more nations be added onto that in the
future? Maybe. It's not something we plan looked at.
No, it's nothing planned. The only big problem would be like interface space.
Yeah.
It's always a battle when we're designing things. It's like, all right, we want to make this cool feature. Where are we gonna fit it? And then our UX design.
Moving on. Next question. Commenter asks if we would like to rework the revolt system, and if you could, how would you do it? And same with the stabilities.
Didn't we rework the revolt system recently for Heir to the Throne, right?
Heir of the Throne is EU3, but we did for.
That was the joke.
Ah, okay. No, because you did the factions, right? Like before then, we only had the which expansion was that? We redid it so we now had the faction and unrest and autonomy. Was that common sense?
I can't remember. We did a lot of different changes, but the rebel factions. But basically the rebel system is a lot of them is the same as Heir to the Throne. Mm-hmm. So we don't have a better solution right now, but it's something we'll.
And what about the stability system? Because right now we've got the 0 to 3 mechanic where Imperator has a difference.
It's -3 to +3.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. My bad.
A 0 to 100 is Imperator, and Imperator is better in some ways, but worse in another because it just keeps going on by itself and just decaying to 50. I don't know. We don't have any plans for it. It kind of works.
All right. Do we have any plans on implementing 3D map viewing in EU4 and as it's possible in Imperator?
We have this thing in EU4 that you can control them. I don't know how you enabled it, but you can use an Xbox controller to go around on the map with, but I don't think the turning thing from the mouse has been done.
Okay, this one specifically for you, Johan. Would you consider adding pops to the game?
Not in EU4. If we make a sequel, that would be something we would look at then. But for EU4, adding pops is... I actually wrote a design for how to transform development into pops, like, was it 4 years ago? And it's like, would be a lot of work. No. Basically, part of that design was then used in Imperator for pops, actually.
All right, next question. Are there any plans to change the way colonialism works?
I mean, I don't have any ideas, at least. I haven't thought much about it. But it's also like Johan mentioned earlier, when asking about system needing overhaul, colonialism hasn't changed since launch, but I haven't really thought about it.
All right. Okay. Let's see. So this one starts out with Johan did a great job with Imperator regarding the new army logistics and reinforcement system. Would there be any plans to implement that sort of thing into EU4? And I think that's what you said. That would have been one of your favorites to try to implement in one of the earlier questions.
Yeah, it would have been awesome to get into the EU4, but the amount of impact it has on the AI right now, it's too risky. So we wouldn't do it.
Next one says, why do you insist on calling the Pope changing religion an exploit?
Because the Pope is the definition of Catholic. Because it's like a Pope that's not Catholic is not the Pope. He's not supposed to change religion. If the Pope is ever able to change religion in EU4, it's a bug and needs to be fixed.
And it's not only flavor. a big part is like flavor and like, this is the world the game is trying to be, but then it's also mechanics. Like it breaks a lot of things. Like there's a lot of code and stuff like hanging around where it's like, and especially script, so much script that is just literally the Pope we can always assume is Catholic, and then everything breaks apart.
And I think this next one we can skip because it seems to be about a bit of a double. Just is EU4 this EU4's grand finale? And,
no.
You answered no. All right. This next one's one of my favorites because this is verbatim from the forum. I think it's directed at Johan again. Why Spain?
Why not? Spain, if you're assuming that why we're starting it in Spain, it's because it's nice weather. It's nice weather, better than Sweden in pretty much everything you can define. So why not?
Okay, I'm going to skip this next one because that's a double as well. Let's see. Okay, any plans to revisit North American natives?
Have we ever done anything with them?
Conquest of Paradise.
Oh yeah.
I think yeah, that's it.
Okay, so that's a good idea. Let's look at the American natives then in the next, or no, next is yeah. We'll look at it eventually, sometime soon. We need to look at them.
This next one popped up a few times in the questions. Any chance that we'll get a fix that'll allow the player to convert the culture in their colonial nation?
Oh.
I mean, I'm assuming they wanted like missionaries. But then
I assume, yeah, it would be similar to that. I think that's what they were trying to ask.
It's not coming in 1.30.1 because that's the release patch. It's being released with tomorrow. So,
are we going forward with that? Yeah, but like, I think a big problem with converting culture in colonial nation is like to what culture? Your culture or the colonial's culture? Like primary culture? Like which cultures are available to convert to? Like it's not as easy as with religion because there's only one, but cultures you can convert to several different ones. So I don't know.
All right, next one's kind of a big one. Since you integrated development into the base game, just like Estates, so that you could work upon it, and with it no longer being locked behind a paywall, can we expect reworks for development like the Estates and the Mercenaries got?
It haven't even crossed my mind to change development. I don't know if Johan has any ideas or like if there's.
No, not really. It's like no major things to rework.
Yeah, like it does what it's supposed to, right? So
that's all the 35 questions we had there. Is there anything else in the Twitch chat?
We could take questions from Twitch chat if you want to.
Yeah, let's see.
Let's see. Any ideas for countries with new mission trees?
Oh,
Scandinavia. Scandinavia doesn't have any missions, actually. I just realized.
Yeah, or Skåne.
Oh, actually, we have Scandinavian culture. We need to actually add it into the game so it can spawn.
Yeah, Scandinavian tag.
Yeah, exactly. Or Skåneland.
Someone's asking if we're planning to remake the older unit packs, and it's like, no. Oh, now they're spamming or asking. It's a lot of questions there.
There's been a lot of people asking for Scandinavia, Norway, mission trees, Iceland, all that.
I saw, like, are you going to rework trade? We talked about that earlier, and like I would say, like probably not. It's like a very complex system, and it's like redoing that for as a new thing and making it more dynamic is just invite like a lot of cost for not a lot of gain. More formidable nations in the new world. We have tons of them now. How many more do you want?
What is it? Vermont, Quebec.
We have Sonora, California, Texas, USA, Alaska, or Cascadia, I guess it's called. We have Canada. We also have some in South America, Brazil, and some others.
Several people asked if they could, when can we use WASD to move the map around?
Never.
No, hell no. That's a definition of evil. You're
Strong
supposed.
opinions.
No,
Very strong opinions.
No, it's like maps should be moved by the arrow keys, or by scrolling to the. Yeah, they're asking which system of Imperator is amazing can be implement EU4. Well, yes, that just requires 2 to 3 years of development, of reworking everything and redesigning, and like.
Is UI scaling, native UI scaling's coming with this patch, right?
Yeah, I saw that one about accessibility. We have an experimental UI scaling coming with this patch. I don't think we've done colorblind mode, but we are like doing a thing which is required by the EU, I think.
Oh, yeah, it's a CVAA thing.
Yeah. So there's coming some there's a whole accessibility tab right now in the settings screen.
Why can't Lorraine form Lotharingia? Oh, let's come up a lot.
Why does Hussite Bohemia not give neighbors sheep CB to convert back to Catholic? They do. Hungary gets chances to intervene and stuff like so. There's several things that like goes against the Hussite Bohemia. You were gonna say something about Lorraine?
It's come up a lot in the forums and on the socials. Why can't Lorraine form Lotharingia?
Because yeah, people think it should be able to do so because of the namesake, right?
Yep.
I 100% sure because these mission trees are designed by content designers, so it might just be they missed it or they have a good reason. Like Burgundy did, like the Bourgogne tried to claim themselves as kings, right? So, and this was still during the period where you kind of like had to go by legacy of like, here's old kingdom, because you did have the kingdom of Lotharingia as a part of the HRE like political structure. Like you have the kingdom of Italy, kingdom of Germany, kingdom of Lotharingia, and then I think that's all of them, and kingdom of Bohemia. I think it's based on that is what the content designer was going for.
How about this one? Any ideas on expanding the way combat works in the future, or are we happy with the way it is?
I mean, Johan has been working with this combat system way longer than me, but I feel like it's... I mean, things can always be better, but this has gone through iterations for a long time, and it's a very well-oiled machine. Is that the correct term?
Yeah.
So, like it works, right? And maybe we can make things less obscure and so on, but it works. It does what it's supposed to. It gives a certain depth. Like if you're a new player, you don't have to care too much about the depth, but if you are like a veteran, you can go very, very deep into what does every single thing mean.
Yeah, I have something to announce because Daniel Sarnan posted something. It's fixed for tomorrow's version. Is Lorraine should be able to form Lothar.
Oh, nice!
Oh, nice!
Oh, so he's listening in and correcting us.
Yes, he's a good producer. That's his job. Make sure we don't fuck.
And chat seems very happy about that.
We did a Twitch chat. I start aim before it doesn't work.
We fixed it live right here. Chat finally achieved something. Huzzah!
Any more questions from chat?
I'm looking.
It's so awkward doing this like over Discord because like I can't see other people's faces and see like, you know, oh, what do you think about something? I just have to assume, are you gonna talk or not?
Oh, this has come up a lot. Release time for the update. I believe it's 10 a.m. Central European time.
I mean, all I know is I will be on the release stream, keeping people company while they're waiting patiently for us to press the button.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be fun.
A lot of people asking about Cavalry and if we'd ever change that.
So I've had thoughts about it, but no real ideas. But what I do think, like, it's not enough to just buff them and give them higher numbers. They need, like, so infantry has a niche, cannons have a niche, like in how combat works. Cavalry would also sort of need its own. What's the point of them, right? In Victoria and like I think March of the Eagles as well. Like they have like reconnaissance. They have a different function that is not only, you know, do damage.
Yeah.
And EU4 doesn't have that. It kind of misses that, and that it would need something like that. That's my thoughts about it. But there's no plans.
Oh, not really.
How do you think mercenaries have changed wars? Because that's something we experienced a lot over the week.
They, at least, I think we can say for sure with proof, live stream to everyone, it hasn't killed multiplayer combat. It hasn't. And
no,
wars.
not at all.
What I do feel what it has done is that there is the only like forever war we had was the like between Great Britain and France, because they should have pieced out Great Britain, because Great Britain was, I think he made 1,000 ducats just like blockading their entire coast. So yeah, that's also with the new blockades, right? So it feels like there's more like danger if you just keep staying at war. Like you will get hurt, you will actually get hurt, and you might actually be in a really bad spot. You won't have the infinite manpower.
Me personally, I found that trying to balance the manpower pool from the mercenaries and your own personal manpower pool was a welcome added bit of like management. Oh, also, it's great is that a lot of the mercenary companies come with leaders. So sometimes you can get a leader with a couple siege pips early from a mercenary company, and I'd pay just for those 1 or 2 siege pips, because that makes a big difference in some early.
Yeah, I've also been picking mercenary companies specifically for whoever is their captain, right? So it's like I'll buy like a mercenary company that I don't care about, but I want that captain to fight for me.
Oh yeah, over the multiplayer weekend, my first war is Poland versus the Teutonic Order. Just getting a mercenary leader with 2 siege pips just to go hit Königsberg and make that coastal siege while I had no navy a lot easier was well worth the money.
Does hiring mercenary companies lower professionalism? Yes, it does. When I saw someone like about AI and economy, there's been work done there. We have some statistics that say like so we have the game running, like we have certain like computers that keep running the game every single night. And then we have things that automatically analyze how the game went and so on. And one of those like metrics we take is how many bankruptcies do the AI get, which is a lot less than it used to be. they do like we see another metric is how much money do they spend, and they do generally spend more money as well. So they are the turnover the AI has is higher, but they are not going bankrupt. So something is probably better, but it's probably not perfect, but it's probably better than previous patch. And why we do it like this is because if I just sit and watch one game, that's not enough to decide if the AI is performing better or not, right? That might be a fluke, that like, and so on. So that's why we do this like mass collection of data in order to understand like how is the AI playing.
Okay, we're running down to like 10 minutes left. So let's see if we have any interesting questions, or more interesting. We have shitloads of interesting questions.
Oh yeah, now they're just kind of flying by in Twitch chat real quick. Like, here's one about game performance. Has game performance improved in late game?
Not really.
No. The metrics we have is that it should be about the same. The average tick for each game is about the same as 1.29.
Like we do a lot of optimizations every patch and so on, but that's kind of like just to keep up with all the new promises and new content being added.
Yeah. Did anything special happen to pirate nations? Yeah, we did lower how much land they can hold directly. And I think there was something else we did to balance them. Doesn't spring to mind right now, but yeah.
Yeah, they can only, everything costs twice as much for them to, or like their governing capacity.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Pirate Nation can no longer run at 0% Republican tradition. Thank you. That was the other nerf. Thank you.
Will Imperial incidents be moddable?
Yep. They're basically advanced events, so with mechanical hook-ins, so they are very, very moddable. Why didn't get Hesse any changes? Don't they have new national ideas? Maybe they don't. But I do have the Hessian Jäger Corps, which is one of the best mercenary companies in the entire game. So. What's your favorite new mission tree? I would say Milan. I really like the Milan one.
Any plans for an enhanced spying system? I think that may have come up in conversation the other day.
We've tried to like espionage for EU4 like several times. Like it's not like Hoi, where it's kind of core to the game is knowing the information of the enemy. EU as a game, right, is risk on steroids, or what was the phrase you used, Johan?
Something like that. That's the definition of the EU. But it's like the espionage system we have today kind of works, and yeah, we won't change it.
Who is your favorite developer to eliminate from an MMP game? I'm too soft-hearted. I don't like eliminating anyone. But Johan probably has a favorite.
To eliminate, if I could eliminate someone mid-game so they have no chance of coming back with a vengeance, I would put... there's 3 players I would like to eradicate from the map just to improve my own chances. I would put Starnan on top 3 because he's by far the best combat guy to fight. I would put Kaiser Johan on second because he's arguably probably almost as good as Starnan, but he also never ever stops. And number 1 is easy because no matter, you have to like kill him completely because else he ends up winning, it feels like. Whiz.
Or he picks who's gonna win. He's done that several times. Where it's like, oh, I don't want to win this time. I'm gonna make you win instead.
So I would like eliminating either Starnan, Kaiser Johan, or Whiz would be good. And of course, I would always love to eliminate French Paradox because some weird how he always end up super. I didn't confirm. Someone asking, would you confirm we know EU5 in the future? What's the next focus? I said I will be the one that makes all the EU games in the future. So there's and I'm not going to tell the vision. That was the. But we're going to make more expansions for EU4. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I have a lot of ideas.
There's a lot.
There's a lot we can do.
Yeah, it's going to have fun this summer.
Isn't it much harder to do world conquest now? No. Well, yes and no. Right now you have to make a choice of like what you put under statehood and so on. And I guess being a horde and conquering the entire world by the 1500s, yeah, that's probably gonna be super hard now. But it probably should. It probably shouldn't even be possible. But if you want to just, conquer the entire world and one faith it, or what, you can still do that. You're just going to have to make some really tough choices, and that's how it should be.
Have certain nations become stronger, do you think?
Oh, with the governing capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Ming gets plus, what is it, 300, 500? Something like that?
Yeah, well, I think that the biggest benefactor of this redesign is probably Prussia and Venice. Not Venice so much in a world conquest because, like, you don't do that as a merchant republic all that often. But Prussia, holy shit!
Yep.
We nerfed it to the ground after mid. No, now mid-emperor with government capacity changes and all the taking bonus for some estates. But yeah, Prussia is insanely powerful. Prussian Space Marines and while conquering the world, yes. And then getting the hegemon with the fast siege ability. I think that Prussia would easily be able to do a world conquest. Before 1600, of course. Why Prussia? Because Prussia has a cool flag.
Nerf all. No, they got their own unique ideas now.
Oh no, people are asking about Prussia's color.
What? They have the correct color.
Yeah. Gray. Sadly, not the perfect color because some people don't like the beautiful yellow color from early Wiki.
Yeah, I still haven't forgotten Wiz for removing that.
No, it's completely unacceptable. We have to make it.
Yes, you can still purchase TC land. Europeans are just stuck up and won't ever sell.
Any plans on giving Africa some love in the future?
We've done that in 2 or 3 expansions, and I think that it needs more things, but it's not in the current short-term future.
It did get a couple extra provinces, right? Like South Africa?
Yeah, but that was more of a passion project of one of the content designers, I think.
Yeah, that's why we have to let the design people do things that they want to do for what they want to do, because you get more passion and more cool things out of them. Then that sometimes that ends up with overpowered ideas for Australia.
Yeah, which I fortunately nerfed before you guys saw them. It was the Prussia of Down Under.
It was awesome. Beautiful flag, and it was super awesome. Oh yeah, we're past 6 o'clock now. So shall we have another final questions or something?
Yeah, we're gonna have to wrap it up soon. I'm looking for questions that haven't already been answered sometime in the last hour.
Someone wants the real flag of France. Is that the white one with the white lilies on? It's a little bit hard to...
Well, I mean, we also have to do by aesthetics, right? Like, you know, blue Venice, blue France, and so on, and then the flag should match.
Yeah, well, but the Venice color, the map is cyan, I think.
Yeah.
It's not really blue, but the flag is cool blue. And will always be blue, because it's cool.
I think we've mostly devolved into conversations about color now.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, red Venice, evil. I'm gonna drop off, and it was nice chatting or chatting, or whatever we call this conversational thing.
Nice. And I need to go as well, so. You know, the game doesn't make itself.
Nope, we have a release tomorrow. Cheers, guys. Hope you all have fun. Then you have to.